You'll see a list of Colorado judges and justices on your ballot who are up for retention. But unless you do your homework, you'll likely see names that you don't recognize.
So what do you do when you come across an unfamiliar candidate? Do you leave it blank, choose at random, or do you do some research right there on the spot?
Let us know by scanning the QR code at the bottom of your screen. While you do that, Denver 7's Brandon Richard explains why it's important to know Colorado's judges.
Well, in addition to deciding who to vote for president and for Congress and whether or not to support this proposition or that proposition, Colorado voters also have to decide whether to retain judges, from state Supreme Court justices to county judges.
I think it's important to feel like you're participating in the process.
Kent Wagner is executive director of the Colorado Office of Judicial Performance Evaluation, which manages the process for evaluating Colorado's judges.
We evaluate them on an ongoing basis.
Commissions, made up mostly of attorneys, conduct the evaluations. Every judge in Colorado is evaluated using 6 criteria: integrity, legal knowledge, communication skills, administrative performance, judicial temperament, and service to the legal profession.
They do interviews with the judge. They look at survey reports. So we survey people who have been in the judges' courtrooms.
Evaluations are posted in the Blue Book to help voters decide whether to retain a judge.
It's important that the judges reflect the preferences of the communities that they serve.
Russ Carparelli is a retired judge. He says while it might be tempting for voters to skip the judicial section of the ballot, they shouldn't.
If for no other reason than to become aware of the quality of the people that serve on Colorado's bench.
The Judicial Integrity Project, which seeks to improve the judicial system, says because the evaluations don't include information like discipline or criminal histories, voters are left without critical information. But Judge Carparelli says the process is still a good one.
And it is really admired around the country for the process that we use.
Jeff Rupp with the Colorado Judicial Institute, which educates the public about Colorado's judicial system, says voters must be willing to do their part.
Democracy is hard work. We need to do our homework, and it's our civic duty to vote. This is our chance.
And that includes helping decide who sits on the bench. Brandon Richard, Denver 7.
All right, now before the story, we ask you, what do you do if you come across an unfamiliar name on the ballot? And most of you right now are saying you research on the spot rather than just choosing a random or leaving a blank. So good for you. Keep doing that homework on the spot and keep this conversation going. Denver7.com/vote now.
And going in depth, Colorado judges and justices are appointed by the governor. After 2 years, voters decide whether they should continue serving. If voters decide to retain them, these are the terms. County court judges serve 4 years, district court judges serve 6, Court of Appeals judges serve 8 years, and state Supreme Court justices serve 10. There is no limit to how many terms these judges and justices can serve, but they are required to retire at 72. Digging deeper, according to Brennan Center for Justice, 99% of state justices have terms, but at the federal level, the U.S. Supreme Court justices serve until they decide to retire, pass away, or are convicted by the Senate. Term limits have become a contentious issue in politics and are at the center of the debate over the Supreme Court reform.
All right, next on